Just really excited to be here again as a company. Our last KubeCon booth was KubeCon Valencia.
Yep.
Which is really exciting. That was when we had first launched our open source product, Parka. Yep. Since then, we've taken Parka to new heights and we've created a cloud offering from it. And that's what we're basically here to announce. We launched that in October. And yeah, now we're
Polar Signals Cloud.
Polar Signals Cloud.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is the biggest feature that you've launched in Polar Signals Cloud since you've launched Polar Signals Cloud? There were too many.
There are quite a few.
There's been a lot. One that I don't know if it's the biggest, but one that I'm incredibly excited about is something that we actually just launched a week or two ago, which is Trace ID support. So we've always been able to attach arbitrary labels. So in theory, we were always able to attach distributed tracing IDs.
Yep.
What's super exciting about this new Trace ID support is that it works with our zero instrumentation technology. And so we can still do all the great profiling of everything in your infrastructure using eBPF, but now also be able to just retrieve the Trace ID from your process. It's the first of its kind, and it's incredibly exciting because now all of a sudden can you not just view profiling data of a single distributed tracing span, for example. You can actually pull up all the profiling data of a single request, even if it hopped through multiple services within your infrastructure, right?
Wow.
Incredibly cool, at least from our knowledge, the first of its kind that can actually do it across services.
Wow. And that means also across hosts, right?
Across hosts, no
Across
matter
cloud.
what.
That's really cool.
It really truly doesn't matter. It can be a hop.
We have to see that.
For data centers.
Is there a demo for that or something like that?
There is a demo for this. We actually just wrote a blog post about this as well.
Okay. We'll link to that.
It's a super exciting feature.
Cool. So back to Thor. This gave you time to think. Remember?
Yes.
We did this before.
Yeah.
You know how this works.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I really love our code source view. So, you may not be as knowledgeable about the code you're viewing in a stack trace, but when you can right click on it and say show me the code specifically, it can link you straight to the code in the same frame, which is really cool. That feels like a superpower. And most recently we announced that we also have support for some AI code suggestions. So maybe you look at this code, it's using a large amount of CPU, but you're not quite sure how I should make it use less CPU. Now we offer a feature where you can right click on that and say, please give me some AI suggestions for how I can optimize this code. And so we have an AI model that's fed these profiles that can then suggest to you, here's how I would optimize it based on these profiles.
Nice. So AI pretty much everywhere.
AI everywhere. We're an
AI is a
company
new
now.
cloud native.
That's right.
Everybody is, right? Or they're not, then it doesn't matter. Cool, got it. What about this KubeCon? How is this KubeCon different from the others, right? You had quite a few. Polar Signals has been around for quite some time. What is different this time?
I think it's also the biggest KubeCon since COVID, and I think actually now we're starting to get to that point again where we're actually overtaking the numbers pre-COVID. So it's actually, the booth has been crazy busy in the best of ways, right? So that's really exciting to us.
We could hardly record this, right?
Yeah.
That's how busy it was. Like we're waiting half an hour because there was a line of people waiting. Yeah. Okay.
So it's super exciting to finally be able to not just talk about obviously the amazing open source stuff that we do, but the customers, the amazing customers that are already using Polar Signals Cloud, but also be able to talk about the product finally, because there's been a lot of research and development that has gone into making all of this a reality.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference is now we get to show off what a lot of companies have done, and we have even better stories of solutions that our customers have come up with using DDoS profiling that we had never anticipated. So we've had companies that have come to us and said this was super useful for determining how to resolve DDoS attacks. Right? They're able to look back at the CPU and say, this is where our bottlenecks were during this DDoS attack. If we fix this, this will make this DDoS attack easier to resolve, which is never something we thought was a use case, but now we have customers coming to us and telling us these are our use cases. And so getting to tell these stories at this KubeCon is, I think, my favorite difference.
That's very cool, very cool. Okay. I really want to know more about the DDoS attack, not in this conversation, but maybe as a follow-up, because that sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
The language doesn't matter. That's one of the key takeaways.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what language you have, it can still show you this is what's happening, this is where you need to look, and you are expected to know your language and go and dig. Okay? What are you going to do differently after this KubeCon? Any change that this KubeCon prompted, or anything that you are thinking, you know what, I've learned something new, or I haven't thought about that. So something different that you're going to do as a result of this specific KubeCon.
I think one thing we've heard a lot about is profiling serverless applications. I think that's a space that would be really interesting to explore. I've heard from multiple people like they don't have really any insight into what their Lambda instance is doing, but it's slow.
Right.
So I think things like that are a really interesting avenue to open. Of course, with the rise of AI, we've heard more and more people, I need to profile my GPUs because right now it's a big black box, right?
Very nice.
I call into the code and then it runs and I don't know, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me maybe less of a change and more continued validation is that now we've built the best platform for collecting and analyzing profiling data, and now we're going to kind of transform into how do we actually turn this into real change. And our AI-based optimization suggestions are definitely a part of that, but there's a whole lot of other things that we're working on to essentially inform or even produce entirely automatic improvements. And I want.
Yeah, I know.
I'll leave this as a teaser for now.
That's like the CEO's problem. How much do I say? I recognize it.
But it's super exciting, and we hear this all the time that maybe people are new to profiling data, and some of that is just educational, and that's definitely something we're working on as well. But definitely, there's so much data here that can be used to inform automatic improvements that I think we'll be busy for a while with.
Okay. So, can we expect you at the next KubeCon?
Absolutely, we've already handed in.
Yep.
Really? Salt Lake, is it?
Yeah, Salt Lake City, we will have a booth.
Very nice, okay. And the demo, anything you're going to do different about the demo? By the way, I love it. You were telling about the Screen Studio?
Yeah, it's
on my list. It's on my list, okay.
Yeah.
Anything you're going to do different about that booth, or any plans? Anything you want to show differently or more, or?
So I guess, I think something that we've seen already today a couple of times, so we have this demo that's going on a loop here. We've already given a couple of in-person demos today, even just ad hoc. We weren't really planning for it, but that's how it goes. So I think maybe we'll do that. We'll be a bit more, not that we're not prepared, but we'll make sure we have specific space for that, stuff like that.
Allowing people to get their hands on it, I think, helps a lot of people truly understand what the product is.
Okay. So like a getting started, or?
Yeah, I mean, we already have our free trial, so maybe we'll actually have a bigger booth next time.
Okay.
So I think we'll have some space to maybe do short workshops or something like that.
Yeah.
Got it.
Start from zero and deploy some code and get it profiled.
Yeah.
That would be very cool. I like that. Okay, I'm up for that.
All right.
That's really cool. I like it. Okay. So apart from AI, is there anything else in the ecosystem today that gets you excited? Apart from AI. I'm emphasizing that because everyone is talking about that.
Yeah.
Anything else that's happening that we should be paying attention to?
Yeah, so there's actually a bunch of research also happening at the big tech companies as well, in this area called profile-guided optimizations, where basically you can feed profiling data to compilers, and they can make opinionated optimizations based on this data, basically. And like I said, there's active research going on there, so that's something that I'm super excited about.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's the next big thing in compilers. We're going to see more of that, because one of the big problems is to use PGO, you need production data. You can't just use benchmarking data or unit testing data, right? Because it's not indicative of the production environment. So now we have that data and can actually leverage this technology to the fullest.
Got it. Okay, super cool. Any hot takes from KubeCon EU 2024 for those watching this and listening to this? Any hot takes?
France's KubeCon has had the best food ever of any KubeCon.
Best food.
Of any KubeCon.
Very
Yep,
nice.
That's
okay.
my hot take.
Okay.
That's a good one.
It is a good
Except for the martini.
Except for the, I was just thinking that.
one. They don't offer those here anyways, but yeah.
Right. But if they did, you're the person to see.
That's right.
You can show them how to make a proper
Exactly.
one. Good. Okay. Thor, Frederick, thank you very much. It was a pleasure seeing you here.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for this new format. We haven't done this before. I'm in your booth, literally in your booth, filming and recording. It feels great.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Thank you for coming by.
Thank you, Frederick. Thank you, Thor.
Thank you.
Thank you.